Just a quick disclaimer before we start this story. I did write a community post, but in case you didn't see it, I wanted to let you know that I do apologize for the quality of this video and maybe a couple more ahead, as my laptop has been completely demolished. So if the audio sounds a little different, if the editing seems a lot more simple than usual, you know why. And so until I get it fixed or get a new one, this is what we rocking with. Nonetheless, I'm still a voice for the voiceless, and we're going to get into these stories. Thank you in advance for your patience, and always thank you for your support. Now let's get into today's story. They say birds of a feather flock together. Watch the company that you keep. Guilty by association. All statements that could be perceived as warning signs in the case of a young woman who didn't make it to C21 after being left for dead in an empty Bronx apartment by people that she knew. This is the story of Dalila Vasquez. Bronx, New York native Dalila Vasquez was born December 8th in the year 2000 to her mother, Cynthia Duffy. I want to say she was from the Gun Hill section, since that's where she resided, but it could be that she just lived there and was from another area. Nonetheless, she was a young Bronx girlie, and from the looks of people's Facebook posts about her, Dalila was adored by those who knew her. I mean, posts upon posts about how cool of a friend she was, how much they loved her, how beautiful she was. And even if you went on Facebook right now and typed in her name, you could see for yourself all the people who gushed over her. Her neighbors also considered her to be a sweetheart and said that she was super helpful towards them, especially the elderly, who said she would make store runs for them to the bodega, and expected nothing in return. And as loved as Dalila was, those who knew her and wanted the best for her wished that she didn't associate herself with certain people. You see, apparently, Dalila was acquainted with some people in the New York drill scene. And if you listening to this and you like, Bonita, the what scene? I'm going to break it down as briefly as possible, hitting the key points, right? So the drill scene in music in general, if I'm not mistaken, it started off in Chicago with specifically young rap artists coming on tracks, violating their ops pretty much. Hence the whole drill part of it. You know the lingo, drilling, booming at your ops, drilling on them, taking their lives, bragging about it on a song. But the music has a very specific sound to it. The beats are aggressive. The lyrics are super aggressive. And by the way, if anyone wants to add on to the whole origin of drill in the comments, feel free to do so, because, I'm just giving a very, very short description of it. But anyway, the whole drill concept ended up popular, not just nationally, but globally. And I feel like in terms of New York City, New York got its drill swag from the UK artists. And if you listening to this wondering, what does this have to do with Dalila? Don't worry. It's all going to come back to her. There's a reason I'm briefly going down this drill rabbit hole, so just stay with me. So just like I was saying, I believe New York got its drill sound from the UK when Pop Smoke got inspired by the sounds of a UK producer, and he put it in his music, which created this whole new phenomenon in New York City. But Pop Smoke is from Brooklyn, right? And there's a huge difference between the Brooklyn drill sound and the Bronx drill sound. Brooklyn has a smoother, I would even say a cleaner, clearer sound to its drill. And you can hear examples in artists like Pop Smoke, Rod Swish, Dusty Locane, Fivio Foreign, and Curly Sav. But then you got Bronx drill, right? And Bronx drill is far more aggressive. It's loud. It's in your face. And I won't even get nobody started up about who started the wave in the Bronx with the drill stuff, because everybody got a different opinion about who started the Bronx drill. But you got artists like D34D, B Love, K Flock, Lil TJ, and Sha EK. Now, regardless of which drill that you listening to from whichever region, it's all the same message. Everybody smoking on their ops, everybody sliding on everybody drilling, everybody violating the deceased in songs. And it's really some gutter shit if you really listening to what they saying. So anyway, what does this all have to do with Dalila, right? Well, as I stated earlier, apparently Dalila was acquainted with some people from the Bronx drill scene and some blood set members, not being affiliated directly and being active in it, but definitely inserted herself into the lifestyle. She was well associated with them. She would be on live with them, like on Instagram Live, Facebook Live. You know, she would be rapping their songs. She's smoking. She's chilling. Honestly, probably not even realizing how real shit could get for her, just even being acquainted with these people. And please keep in mind, I'm just going based off of research and logic. I'm almost positive somebody who's watching this knows far more than I do about Dalila's involvement with some of these drill and gang related people, because the drill scene is so condensed with so many different cliques, crews, gangs, groups. It's really hard to keep up. You could type in drill scene on YouTube and hundreds of thousands of videos will pop up. It really goes deep. So I'm acknowledging right now that I'm probably just scratching the surface here, but apparently the dudes that she was chilling with, they had their ops watching, and their ops was part of a gang set called G-Side or Drilly. Now, according to a Bronx district attorney letterhead addressing the crimes carried out by G-Side Drilly gang set, it was Wednesday evening, approximately 10 p.m. on March 17, 2021, in the East Gun Hill Road section of the Bronx at 3339 Hull Avenue in an empty third-floor apartment, not too far from where Dalila lived. Apparently, she tended to hang out at this apartment with her peoples frequently. Actually, this apartment was a known chill spot for some gang members, according to reports. So Dalila was chilling with some of her people, supposedly some YGs, and allegedly maybe a person or two was Drilly gang that was with them. Whether or not that's true is up in the air. Whether or not Dalila knew that is also up in the air. But unfortunately, that would be the last place that Dalila was seen alive, as she was tragically shot in her head in the apartment. The people that were with her all made a run for it out the building, and someone tossed the firearm out the window. It's alleged that an unknown person called Dalila's mom and told her that Dalila was shot in the building, but apparently she wasn't given the correct information as to where within the building Dalila was, which caused ample time to pass, delaying her discovery and an opportunity to get her to a hospital fast enough. But once police arrived to the scene, they reportedly took Dalila to Jacoby Medical Center, but Dalila didn't make it. And Cynthia, of course, was devastated. She was seen on the news, bawling, crying, crushed behind what happened to her baby girl.
If you know something, let the family know!
Cries from a family and a community in pain rang through this block after the death of 20-year-old Dalila Vasquez, who was found shot in the head in this apartment building. Now, candles and pictures lay here in honor of her memory, but residents are calling for an end to the violence in the streets.
And told me that my daughter got shot, and I was here for like an hour looking for her, and I couldn't find her. The cops were trying to help me. It was traumatizing for me.
I'm the one that seen her going to the ambulance, and it's crazy. I didn't even know that was her going to the ambulance. I just see somebody, and I found out the same night.
Police found Vasquez in an East Gun Hill Road apartment around 10 p.m. earlier this month.
I feel like I could have a heart attack and die. It's like, this is crazy. It's unfair that your old friends kill you.
Following the shooting, several people believed to be blood gang members were seen exiting the building. The gun was tossed out the window. Residents expressed concern over blood gang members taking control of the apartment building before the incident occurred.
As far as the investigation goes, I don't want to get into too many details about it. There's been some arrests in relation to it. The Bronx DA is working closely with us, obviously.
The death of Vasquez highlighted the surging issue of gun violence, with 7 shootings this year versus 3 shootings last year in the area, and 25 shootings in 2020 versus 17 shootings in 2019.
You ain't a man if you hide behind your homeboys and you shoot a 20-year-old defenseless girl. You're a coward.
Neighbors peered out of their buildings down at the vigil as the calls for justice grew louder.
Say something! Say something! Say something! And no way in the world this lady should be grieving like that!
Friends expressed their love and reflected on Vasquez's life.
A beautiful princess. She was full with love. My heart is broken. She just left me open. It's I just want justice for my friend. That's all.
We love you, Dalila! Police are...
A vigil for Dalila was held on March 23rd, 2021. And to bring it back around to the whole drill thing, as I told y'all before, the disrespect in the music is insane. And these drill rappers did not hold back from violating Dalila in their music or on their lives on social media.
She got hit by the knocker. She got hit by the knocker. She got hit by the foul. That little bitch got sent up. Look, chill up. She got sent up. Look, she got sent up. Look, she got sent up. She got sent up. Put the horn up. Put the kid in my own house. Put the horn in my. Look, check. Put the kid in my own house. What happened? Look, that bitch in the back. That bitch in the back. That bitch in the back. Because she Dalila. She in the smoking Dalila. Chill up. Oh, it's new up in the head. Oh, it's Dalila. Oh, it's new up in the head. Oh, it's Dalila. Oh, it's new up in the head. Oh, it's new up in the head. Oh, it's new up in the head. Dalila got shot at the house. But I really just spoke with Dalila. Like it's a new up in the head.
How many ounces died? Dalila got put in the sky. And that little bitch got shot.
Now, I want to go a little further into Dalila's persona because, as I stated at the beginning of this story, Dalila was adored by many. However, she reportedly had another side to her, and it was a pretty troubled one. Allegedly, Dalila had been arrested 6 different times, to where 3 of those times she was charged with assault. Her last arrest before her death was on December 2nd, 2020, when police grabbed her up for threatening a woman and her children. Now, who did this to Dalila? Well, it's alleged that one of her own friends set her up, and police made 2 arrests in her homicide. A young woman by the name Precious Williams, also known as H0T, who was 20 years old at the time. Allegedly, she was the one with the firearm and fired the shot that executed Dalila. It's also alleged that she was part of the G-Side Drilly Gang, which is the opposition of the YG set that Dalila was chilling with. A young man who was 16 years old at the time, whose name I couldn't find due to his age, was also arrested. But they weren't the only ones, and Dalila's death was just one of the reasons a lot of the Drilly Gang members got indicted, according to that Bronx DA letterhead. As of today, Precious, aka P.W.Jet, is still being held at Rosie's. And for those who don't know, Rosie's is the woman's part of Rikers Island. And her charge is manslaughter in the 2nd degree. Her next court date is June 26th of this year. Now, rumor has it that Precious set her up and meant to take Dalila's life. But it's also been said that it was an accident. And some people even say that Precious wasn't even the one who pulled the trigger, and she taking the fall for somebody else. Some people feel like Dalila had enemies based on who she hung around, while others feel like she wasn't even no pressure for real, so it wouldn't be any reason why she was taken out on some street shit, nor would there be any reason why these gang members and rappers should have any vitriol for her.
People saying like it was like people from the area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you feel about that? Being
Well, me, I was on some
people,
like
like you grew up with, you love, but then it's like people that maybe you might also love are responsible, whatever the case may be. I don't know.
Yeah, they tried to say some funny shit like back. Listen, y'all cannot believe everything y'all hear, and y'all can't. I mean, say anything. Can't believe everything you. Just don't do that. I mean, you're not going like that in life. Believe in everything you see and hear, like or you think. You trying to make up scenarios, like you don't know what it was, right? You don't know what it was, and I don't know what it was. Like
me sitting here doing this research and telling this story, I honestly couldn't even draw up a logical theory as to why Dalila got hit, nor do I have a logical theory as to why these rappers been taunting her spirit as well as taunting those who love and miss her. And notice that I said logical because anything else is trivial for real. Now, some say Dalila was just simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. But if that's the case, then why was her mother Cynthia receiving death threats?
it's dangerous for me and my family. I'm not in that apartment no more. I packed everything because I'm scared for my life. Because people involved in this are contacting me.
I even saw some people saying She had so much beef with other females because Dalila would get on live and like curse out whatever girls from her hood and go on these rants. And if she felt like girls in her hood was talking about her, she would go crazy on the lives, you know what I mean? So people were saying like that the shorty Precious that got arrested, that she might have been paid to take Dalila out behind the beefs that she had with these women. It was also said that maybe the Drilly set might have paid Precious, hence their enthusiasm behind her death. Like, you know, whatever they put their bread up for, it paid off type shit. You got people saying that the dudes in the Drilly set don't even really care for Precious for real, and that's why they let her take the fall for something that she probably didn't even do. There's so many different rumors and theories surrounding Dalila's death. Even her mom, you know, was begging for clear-cut answers as to why this happened to her daughter. And, you know, the streets talk amongst themselves, but ain't gonna be too many facts given to no authorities. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I would pray that by now, you know, 3 years later, that Cynthia got some kind of clarity about why this even happened to her daughter for real. I really can't say why Dalila's life came to an end the way that it did, but what I can speak to is how young she was and how brutal her death was. I'm pretty sure neither her nor her mother expected for Dalila to leave the house that day and then never even make it back home, especially since Cynthia had just spoken to her only 2 hours before her death. Dalila was only 20 years young with goals of eventually leaving the Bronx at some point, according to a family friend. She still had more time to grow and mature, you know, and learn from her transgressions. So, I mean, tell me what you think about this story or what you may even know about this story in the comments down below. If you even want to send me an email because you feel like you have factual details that you may want to add privately to the story, feel free to do so. My condolences goes out to Dalila's mom, her friends, and everyone who's been affected by Dalila's death. I pray that you're able to heal. Rest in peace, Dalila Vasquez. May your spirit live on with your loved ones forever. You'll never be forgotten.